My 26 female husband, 29, and I were invited to my in-laws for dinner yesterday. Everything was going great until my mother-in-law brought up my husband's player phase in high school. My mother-in-law was just jokingly being like, honestly, him in high school, I never thought he'd settle down with somebody. And my father-in-law was like, yeah, even less with someone like you. I asked him what he meant by that. Both my mother-in-law and husband were then like, please no. My father-in-law said, well, you weren't exactly his type in high school, you know. My husband tried to make him stop after that, but my father-in-law added, not saying you weren't pretty enough or anything like that, you just wouldn't have caught his eyes. I got up from the table and went to the bathroom. I wasn't even in there for 5 minutes when my husband knocked and told me we were leaving. Once we were home, my husband received a text from his mom saying that my reaction was childish and disrespectful and that we wouldn't be invited again until I apologized. My husband replied that I'd only apologize if my father-in-law apologized first. He didn't get an answer, but his sister texted me that I needed to apologize ASAP because I was putting my husband's relationship with his parents at risk over a misunderstanding. Not the idiot. I guess you'll have to find a way to make it through life without invites from your in-laws. Your husband has your back, which he should. I wouldn't want to return to my parents' house if they treated my wife like that. Your father-in-law is playing the victim. Don't let them twist this like that. Call him and tell him you want to apologize for bringing out the worst in him, and then tell him to screw off. OP never said anything. OP removed herself from the setting in a non-confrontational way and didn't demand anything from anybody. Saying to somebody that they're not good enough is going to hurt anybody, and OP had a natural reaction to it. In-laws are idiots even to demand an apology on the pretext of harming the relations between the son and his parents. Yeah, what misunderstanding? He insulted you plain and simple. He called you ugly and boring. Your husband's relationship with his parents is in jeopardy because his father is obnoxious. Pops put his foot in his mouth past his kneecap. Now mother-in-law wants you to apologize for Pop's stupid statement to make everything nice again. The only apology I can think of is, I'm sorry you're idiots. There's also some emotional manipulation on the family side. Like, really? Is your family structure so fragile that one falling out will threaten all these relationships? Healthy families talk about things and figure out how to move forward. If his family falls apart over your father-in-law being an idiot and refusing to own it, then that may indicate that the couple doesn't need these folks. OMG, you are the idiot. Complete overreaction. Were you intoxicated or something? Father-in-law probably meant that the girls he used to like were trashy, and you're not. LOL. Whatever, it doesn't matter now. What your father says doesn't matter. Your response was immature because most people aren't taught to defend their feelings from others, especially family. Never let your in-laws or anyone have control over your emotions. Nobody's opinion of you matters because you know what the facts are. This man married you. That's what's up. Everything else is just irrelevant. My sister, 22, and I, 26 female, lost our mom 20 years ago. Mom had a lot of jewellery and she had it in her will that we would each get specific pieces of it. Dad remarried a year later to Jane. My sister considers Jane her mom and Jane's daughter, Nora, 23, her sister. Due to her feeling like they were just mom and sister and not step, my sister has given away all the jewellery she got from mom to Jane and Nora. I always refused to let them borrow pieces from me. Jane always rubbed me the wrong way because she said my mom wasn't my sister's mom anymore and she was a stand-in until her real mom, her Jane, could come into my sister's life. She said it was disgusting that I would think it a bad thing for my sister to share pretty jewellery with no real meaning with her family. She said I was the one who was rejecting a mom and sister. My sister has nothing left from what mom left her. When she was graduating high school, she was upset about not having anything to wear, or so it appeared, and she asked if she could borrow a bracelet mom left me. I was like, sure, just give it back after. But my sister gave it to Jane after, and it took months for me to get it back. I told Jane I would escalate the situation if I didn't get it back. Everyone, meaning Dad, my sister, Jane and Nora, thought I was crappy for that. Now the necklace has become an issue. It was Mom's favourite piece of jewellery and I've always worn it. I wore it on my wedding day. My sister is aware that it was Mom's favourite and she's seen photos of her wearing it. She wanted to borrow it to wear on her wedding day. I was like, no damn way. I told her I'd made it clear after the graduation incident that she was never borrowing another piece from me again, and I told her that if she wanted something of Mom's to wear, she should take back the stuff she gave away. My sister lost it with me and started yelling that I've always held it against her and that she didn't hold Mom on a pedestal and reject everyone who came into our lives after. She said I had no right to throw that stuff in her face. I didn't. And that she should be allowed to wear something of Mom's to her wedding, just like I did when I got married. She broke down and told me I was selfish and awful, and I took pleasure in doing this to her, and I sucked and had ruined her wedding. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, it's your jewellery. If your sister valued the thought of wearing or owning something that belonged to your mom, she should have kept her pieces instead of giving them away to someone who had no real meaning towards the jewellery in terms of sentimental value. If she understands the sentimentality of having your mother's jewellery, she should have promptly returned your bracelet, not given your bracelet to your stepsister without asking you. You can't trust her. Either her sense of propriety is warped or your stepmom and sis has some undue influence on her. She can get hers back or deal with it. I really want to know at what point OP's younger sister was given the jewellery and gave it away, because it certainly seems like she was too young to realise the meaning and worth. And why did Dad let this happen? His wife is taking advantage of his kids, and where is he during all this? And where's the jewellery now? Why can't OP's sister borrow the jewellery she gave to Jane for her special occasions? Did Jane sell it or something? Boy, it's so sad. Jane should never have accepted the other jewellery in the first place. No decent person would have, so shame on her. Your sister was 2. She had fewer memories of your mom. Jane is the real idiot for brainwashing a small child with such nastiness as a stand-in mom until the real mother comes along. I pity your sister for being taken advantage of, but you're correct to deny her use of it. It will never return to you. Jane has probably sold all the other pieces and guilted your sister that that was what she needed to do to be a good mother. The reason she attacked you is because she's confident of your love. If she were to blame the person really responsible, her mom, then the fear of hurt, condemnation and rejection would be too great. She knows at some level that that isn't genuine love, it's conditional. Maybe as a child, Jane guilted her into thinking she, as a child, had to buy or win Jane's love with gifts. Asking for those gifts back means that she's lost her mother figure. Take pics of your jewellery, insure it if it's valuable, and install a good safe or lock where you secure it when not being worn. Jane might convince her to try to steal it to keep her mom happy. My wife and I, 26 and 32 male, got married 2 weeks ago. At our reception, her cousin Rachel, 24 female, caught the bouquet. Apparently her boyfriend Ross, 25, has been carrying a ring around, waiting for the right time to propose, and decided her catching the bouquet was a sign. So, immediately after Rachel caught the bouquet, Ross ran out to the dance floor and knelt to propose to her. She said yes, which obviously shifted all the attention onto Ross and Rachel. Everyone surrounded them to congratulate them, and then Rachel asked the DJ to play their song for them to dance, which derailed the next few things we had planned. I wasn't happy about this because we only had the photographer available for a certain number of hours, and I was worried about going off the schedule. But what really upset me was that I could see that my wife's feelings were obviously very hurt that Ross and Rachel were stealing our thunder. My wife isn't really the type of person to want a lot of attention or to be comfortable spending a lot of money on herself, so our wedding was the one special day when she was able to do so without feeling guilty about it, and seeing it get ruined for her was awful. I decided to ask Ross and Rachel to leave, and at the time my wife agreed with me. So when I next had the chance, I pulled Ross aside to tell him that I didn't appreciate him upstaging us, and that I thought it would be best if he and Rachel left early so we could enjoy the rest of the night. Ross started arguing with me, saying that I was acting nuts, which caused more of a scene than I expected or wanted because a small group of our wedding guests overheard the conversation and jumped in with their opinions. Ross and Rachel did ultimately agree to leave, but for the rest of the night people were talking not just about them getting engaged, but also about me kicking them out. Everyone was on our side, but even so, my wife and I weren't happy that people continued to talk more about Ross and Rachel. The reason we wanted them to leave was because we didn't want to keep being reminded all night of the stunt they just pulled on us instead of being able to celebrate our marriage with our friends and family. My wife has since said that it was wrong to kick Ross and Rachel out and we should have pretended to be happy for them at the moment so as not to ruin the night further because people would have talked less about it that way. Rachel's mother has also complained to my wife's mother about me kicking them out, saying that we should have brought it up to them privately later instead of letting a faux pas turn into a dispute, because now that's the only thing anyone is going to remember about our wedding and/or about Ross and Rachel's engagement. I still think Ross and Rachel, mostly Ross, were idiots in this situation, but was I also? Not the idiot. The mother at the end, telling them they should have done it privately when her damn son proposed at someone else's wedding. People have no shame or awareness. Seriously, so your kid does something super obnoxious to upstage someone at their own event, and they're supposed to not react and keep the response private so the kid can continue to ruin their event? No wonder Ross turned out the way he did. It's time to cut these people out of your life 100%, OP. Oh, and send Rachel's mother an invoice for half of the reception and DJ fees. They turn your wedding reception into their engagement party, so it's only right that they cough up their share of the cost. How is this not everyone's the idiot here? It's rude to propose at someone else's wedding and to carry around the damn ring to do it, but it already happened when you kicked them out. You can't unring that bell. Instead of being kinda rude for Ross to propose, it becomes, oh man, so much drama. The bride and groom freaked out and kicked him out of the wedding. I agree, the couple shouldn't have proposed, but asking them to leave invited a scene. You basically ruined your own wedding by making a mountain out of a molehill. It would have been best if you congratulated them quickly and then redirected the focus to whatever was next on the schedule. People would have dropped it quickly. Instead, you made a scene on top of the proposal scene and gave everyone a reason to keep talking about the drama. Your wedding is going to be remembered for the engagement and them being ousted. My ex and I split up when my daughter, Sarah, teen, was 4. My ex has been married to her husband, Sean, for almost 3 years. I have my daughter 4 days out of the week due to her mother's work schedule. I don't like Sean, he's always given me a weird vibe. My daughter and I are very close. Sarah wanted to go to the movies with some friends and then to a friend's house. The boys would be there. I told her to be on the lookout and to call me if she got uncomfortable. This conversation went on while we were at her mom's and I was picking her up. Sean was in the room and said, "Why are you worried? She doesn't even have boobs yet." My daughter is already self-conscious and has asked me to buy her padded bras to fit in with her friends. Sarah went mute and ran upstairs. I asked him why he would say that about a young teen and he said he was telling the truth and that she was safe from the boys. I just got filled with rage and my hands moved before I had a thought process and I punched him. My ex kicked me out and made me wait in the car for Sarah. Later that night, my ex texted me saying I needed to apologize to Sean. He may need to go to the hospital because his nose is bruised pretty badly and Sean was only joking around and I let my temper get out of control. I just felt as though he was insulting my daughter and putting her down too because she's very self-conscious about it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It's absolutely disgusting that he would think it was okay to talk about your daughter's anatomy like that. It was an incredibly inappropriate comment and uncalled for to boot. Even if it wasn't about her breasts, he made a demeaning and hurtful comment to a teenage girl who is already self-conscious. Your ex must realize she's overlooking a huge red flag, and he could end up saying or doing something even worse as she matures. Exactly. He's a skeezy scumbag, and your ex is a sorry excuse for a mother for letting her husband insult her daughter and expecting you to be the one to apologize. Please have a long talk with your daughter. Who knows what else this idiot has said to her? I wanted to point out something about what Sean didn't say. The implication that once she grows up, she will then be in danger. Sometimes what people do not speak out loud is as significant as what they do say. And OP, if your daughter gives you any more reason to be upset, whatever you do, don't punch him again. The worst you can do at this point is lose custody because you're facing charges of assault. I'd keep an eye on the situation and even bring it up to a trusted family member who may be around him when he's with your daughter and see if they see anything amiss. So, I've been lucky enough to work at my father's company after college and make good money for my age, 27. I've been dating my current girlfriend for 4 years at this point and have been paying for most of our shared bills like rent and amenities, solely because I make like 10 times what she makes, and it would be unfair for her to have to pay above her means because I want to live a certain lifestyle. I've never been good with saving my money, to be honest, but it's never really been a problem. However, recently my girlfriend has been nagging me about how I spend my money. I was pretty moody that day and ended up lashing out, and the argument ended with me saying she could start telling me what to do with my own money when she started paying her fair share. Now she seems really hurt, even though I assured her that I really don't care about how much she earns and that I just misspoke in anger. Am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend she can start telling me how to manage my money when she starts paying the bills? Edit. I work in construction and my degree is in finance. If I continue my current spending, I can live on my savings for 2 months. If I spend more conservatively, I could probably make it last 6. You are the idiot. You're in this position by nepotism. You are a golden child who's probably overpaid because you're a daddy's boy. Congrats on that achievement. It sounds like she has a more realistic view of money and wants to help you get a grip on your finances. By your own admission, you're bad at saving money and accustomed to a certain lifestyle. There are no securities in life. It wouldn't hurt to plan ahead and be safe. Her nagging may very well be her looking out for you. I second this. OP, you are the idiot. Get off your high horse and save money like your girlfriend wisely suggested. Apologize to her and don't use this card with people. Just because she and other people make less money doesn't mean they have no idea about finances. You got lucky working for your rich father, but life has its turns and you should always be prepared for that. Wow, a nepo baby doesn't know how to function when his money doesn't talk. A tale is as old as time. What will you do if something happens to the job or your dad's company? You've had years to sock away a good chunk of your money into savings, yet you haven't done so. The sun doesn't shine forever. You need to start being responsible financially. Don't plan that you'll have that income forever. Plan like it could end tomorrow. Not the idiot. If this story was about a regular doctor or other high-earning job and not a nepo baby, it'd probably be not the idiot all the way down. Make this story about a female doctor and a boyfriend, a waiter, making the same comment, and see how the comments play out. They also started dating at 23 and are only 27. He also said that he has 2 months of living expenses saved, so it's not paycheck to paycheck. He's fine.